Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's the Mac. And welcome back to the continuation here of Wargame Design Studios' Mexican-American War. So I made quite an extensive introductory video and decided to give this great game a shot to play a scenario. And boy, I've been doing some research, man, reading a bit about the conflict and stuff. Very, very interesting. And some very interesting battles here, man. That's usually the case with Wargame Design Studio games, is that if you are picking a title up and you have a sort of vague understanding of the conflict, but it sort of looks cool and really interesting, take your time to do some research and read about it, and then the game sort of enters into a different kind of sphere, you know. That's what happened to me during this. So, still to explore is game mechanics and, you know, the general feel of the play. I haven't played much. I just did that getting started. So, it's going to be sort of a blind playthrough this. I'm going to pick a battle. I think I've already decided, but I'm not really sure just yet. I just need a few more minutes to think about it. But there are some really interesting battles here. Even though it wasn't a huge conflict, this. I mean, it wasn't that many armies and soldiers involved in this. But there were some significant battles that were quite interesting. So there's lots to explore in this game, and a bit, you know, how to actually play this game and how to understand the tactics and the mechanics of it. Because these sort of War of Independence games are different in mechanics compared to many of the others. There's same engine, but different, you know, way to think and different sort of scale and stuff like that. So we went over most of that in the first part of this series, the introduction. So we're going to be probably doing a bit more. It's going to be a learning experience for me as well. I'm going to take my time with this. I hope you guys can bear with me. It's going to be interesting to take this sort of dive into this game. Right. So we have the getting started there. Yeah. So right at the start, they have something called Point Isabel. So Point Isabel is where that Fort Texas, I think it was called, was situated. The Americans built that fort in sort of a defiance of territory for the Mexicans. It was actually built on Mexican territory, but as we know, the area was sort of disputed, and no one really actually, I think, knew, because the area prior to that was actually bought from the French by the Americans. So they weren't given any clear lines of where that territory was, but it is Texas that we see today, but it was on that Rio Grande River. So they built that fort. So this first one is just actually a hypothetical scenario that if you know, what if the Mexicans cavalry had sort of made an attack, a raid on the American supplies, and it wasn't guarded. So it's just hypothetical. It never happened, but it could have happened, I guess, but it never happened. So that's what that's about. This one here, American Blood, is so what's this one about? It's also a hypothetical one. In seeking a declaration of war against Mexico, President Polk declared that America's blood has been shed on American soil. Yeah, this is kind of a very famous remark. This battle historically was particularly bloodless. Taylor's army is about to move out of Point Isabel to obtain supplies and ensure that the supply base is secure against attack. The Mexican army under Arista planned to cut off the Americans by taking a position astride the road to Point Isabel. Due to lack of boats, Arista was delayed in crossing the Rio Grande down. Arista was the name of the Mexican commander. Downriver, Matmos, and a major blunder in his cavalry moved away and left the road open. This scenario assumes that those two mistakes did not happen. The American column will find itself under attack from east and west. The mission is to get to the north edge of the map without being so. This didn't happen. So as we heard, the American force actually, left. Taylor's force actually left, and then when they were on their way back, they were attacked, and that's what this battle is, the Palo Alto. So this is the first major fight of, and this is a historical battle. This actually happened between the sort of young nation of America versus the also very young and new chaotic nation of Mexico. So Taylor's American armies returning from a resupply expedition to Point Isabel, heading back to Fort Texas on the Rio Grande. Arista's Mexican army has taken up a blocking position at Palo Alto. The first battle of the Mexican-American War is about to begin. So I really want to try this. It's actually 72 turns. It's a very long battle. But bear in mind that every turn is 5 minutes. So there's probably going to be a few turns there where not much is going on. And it's going to be sort of skipping turns a bit to see what either side is doing. They have as sort of a side stick to this. It's only 12 turns, and that is the Mexican cavalry. This is actually historical as well. I haven't read about this, but this could have happened during the battle, I guess. The Mexican cavalry floundered through the Resaca and then thundered down the American flank, aiming for the wagon train. The flank was held by the 5th and the 3rd U.S. Infantry, plus a company of Texas Rangers and a company of the 2nd U.S. Dragoons. So this actually did happen. I know this. This is actually part of the main battle. The Mexicans tried to make a flank attack with cavalry and stuff, and they brought some cannons with them, but it failed. The Americans were waiting for them, and they were sort of pretty much slaughtered there, and they had to retreat. Then they have the Palo Alto Resaca. So this is a big one here. This is probably combining everything. 310 turns, man. Yeah, so here you get to do, move every single force from the whole area and assemble your battle lines. I mean, it will take a long time. So then they have this is actually also a hypothetical one. This is if Zachary Taylor's army had taken an alternate route when returning from Point Isabel, it could have approached the Tanquis de Ramireno from the east, and the Mexican army would have been waiting for it there instead of Palo Alto. So this is an alternate take if they would have gone through that instead. It's 36 turns, but it's a hypothetical battle. I want to try something historical. Then they have this. This is an aftermath of Palo Alto, Resaca de la Palma. So after the American victory at Palo Alto, the preceding day, the Mexican army withdrew to the Pasaca de la Palma, an old riverbed of the Rio Grande. The Americans pursued, starting at dawn. The Resaca was a strong defensive position, its 4-foot-high banks making a natural trench. Chaparral. So Chaparral is sort of very rough terrain with rocks and bushes and sort of cactuses and thorn bushes and all kinds of stuff. That's what the chaparral is. It's very, very rough terrain. Block the fields of fire, concealing out of the firepower of the American artillery. Canceling out the firepower of the American artillery. A Mexican General de la Vega said afterwards, "I would have bet that no 10,000 men on earth could drive us from our position." Well, we'll see. And that's what they did. So they have two different takes on that. I'm not sure what take number 2 is. It's judging the American return route from Point Isabel. The Mexican army had taken a position at Tanquis de Ramireno. The wide-ranging cavalry detected the American approach by way of Palo Alto in the late battle. General Atriz forced marches his army. Okay, so that's a different take on it. They have some more hypothetical here. Battle of Matamoros. These are also hypothetical. The The Mexican army has withdrawn from Texas and is preparing to defend Matamoros. General Arista thinks that perhaps the Rio Bravo is not as bad border after all. So this is what if the Mexicans didn't go actually into Texas, that they were sort of waiting on the other side, and the Americans had to go across and attack anyways. So, and this is also a very famous battle, that the Monterrey. It's also a huge fight between Taylor's army, and that was the attack on this city. It's town, I guess, and it was pretty bloody. This is actually where the Americans lost most of their forces in this battle here. It was heavy casualties. It was also street to street fighting and very, very vicious combat going on at Monterrey. So they do actually have one here that says Zach Taylor's worst day in his long career. Through orders either vague or absent, the American forces ended up attacking a strong position in the suburbs of streets of Monterrey and suffered heavy casualties. Yeah, so that could be cool to do as well. But I want to do this. I feel like this. I hope you guys are going to be sticking with me for this. We're going to do the Battle of Palo Alto, man. The main event. So we're going to go with that. We're going to be Americans. The Mexicans are going to be AI. So rules. I'm just going to have the default rules, man. We have quality fire modifiers. Quality melee modifiers. Isolation rules. So we're going to keep it as default there. And we're going to go boom. Wow. All right. This is going to be quite an endeavor. Right. So let's look at the big picture here. We're going to put this is where you switch your objectives on. So there is an objective way down here. It's an exit. So the Americans do get points because the aim is to actually go through here and get to the Fort Texas. But the Americans also have victory hexes here, and I would imagine they are for AI purposes. So the AI has something to go for, I would imagine. But they're 20 points, and that's only 10 points here. All right, so here we go, man. We're going to put on some sound. I just turned... even though I love the music in this game, I don't think I will have it on because it would get sort of repetitive. We could have a little listen to it, but it's actually quite loud as well. It's very nice. I like the music in this game. It's very sort of, gets you into it. Right, so here's the battle, man. Let's turn. So turning map labels on would be shift. I'm not sure if there are any map labels in this. Oh, yes, there are. So we have Palo Alto Pond. Yeah, there's a couple of ponds and stuff here. And this is some rough terrain here. And this is this High Chaparral. Not High Chaparral. This is called Chaparral, this stuff here. It's like these bushes. And this is marsh. So sort of wet terrain there. Even though it's pretty cool, 3D. Wow, look at the Mexican army here, man. Ooh, it's pretty big. Yeah, so let's talk a bit about the battle here. I'm actually going to be playing like this. Would probably be the best to play it. Right, so we'll have a look at the American forces, yeah? Okay, I'm going to turn the music off now. Alright. We're just going to have the click of the clack of the horses in the background there. Okay, so the battle. This is the whole army here. It's quite big. I don't think anything is arriving. Let's have a look. Info scheduled. No, nothing is arriving, and so forth. So so this toolbar here will be confusing now, but this will probably change. So one thing that's not available is actually movement, shade for maximum movement and stuff. I really like that, to have an idea how far a unit can move. So you have to sort of use your math and stuff. Right, so here we go. Let's just first talk what happened here. So here's let's zoom out. We can't fit the whole Mexican army here. So they were lined up here. They also had a huge contingent of cavalry. And here's some cavalry we can see here on the flanks, big chunks of cavalry. And all this infantry here. And of course, guns. Now, let's talk a bit about guns. So there's some artillery here as well, yeah. So the guns, what really made a decision in this battle was the American artillery. And that they had somewhat better rifles than what the Mexicans had, but better, more modernized weapons, and the cannons. And particularly these bad boys, these 18-pounder guns. They had, I think they have only 2 of those 18-pounders. These are 6-pounders, which was sort of more standard. And I believe these would be one 12-pounder and one 6-pounder gun there. Okay, 2 6-pounders, yeah. So what happened was the battle started with a sort of artillery duel. And of course, the Americans got the better of it. The guns of the Mexicanas guns lacked range and firepower. They had sort of not as good gunpowder, and some of the balls actually landed short and they sort of rolled, and people could just sort of step aside because they were so slow once they came in here. But the American guns really wreaked havoc and started, tear holes into these lines of infantry. And that went on for a while, and the Mexicans just stood there and took it, man. And then they would advance. I think the Americans advanced a slight forward with their forces and positioned their guns again and commenced the barrage. And the Mexicans tried to fire back. But a decision was made that a cavalry force was going to go through here and sort of outflank the American flank and go in and try to destroy their resupply and their supplies and stuff, and then sort of basically attack them from the back. The Mexican cavalry they had lancers and stuff, man. So they were like still shock cavalry. Which would charge in. The thing is, you can't charge in this game, so you would probably have to simulate it through just sort of attacking melee onto the enemy and see hope for the best. I would imagine they would have some melee bonus and stuff. But as we read in the introduction, we're going to be cross-referencing the manual a bit to remind ourselves of actual, modifiers for battle, like melee, firing and the melee and stuff like that, because some of this is very important, how to conduct your forces. Anyway, so they moved in there and they brought some cannons with them, but the Americans shifted the forces and met them here, and they were sort of destroyed and they had retreated back, and then there was sort of a lull in the fighting, and there was a lot of grass here in the middle of the battlefield that caught fire, and there was lots of smoke and stuff here, so the forces couldn't really see each other. But after that, the Americans actually made the first move and advanced some forces down. And yet again, the guns were, they could see each other, and they started firing the guns again. And I think the infantry of the Mexican army pleaded to their officers to let us charge and attack. Why are we standing here being slaughtered, And the morale was really low. And so actually the Americans did try an attack. They used some cavalry with some infantry, some light infantry to do an attack. But they were fought off by the guns of the Mexicans. Now they were more effective at closer range. So that they took some heavy casualties and pulled back. And then it commenced, the artillery barrage. And then the Mexicans, finally at the end of the battle, this sort of Mexican, what would it be, right flank, made an attack towards the somewhat more weaker American flank. Some of these units were actually down here, and there was only, I think it's only this force here, the 8th U.S. Infantry, yeah, was sort of left over here, and there was, what is this? 1st Brigade. Is artillery? This is a U.S. Artillery battalion. So infantry there, okay. Where's the guns? There's no guns. Okay. They have some guns here. Anyway, we're gonna have a look at the OOBs and stuff. So, but they made an attack, but they, you know, were actually destroyed by the guns again, and that was the end of the battle. Basically, that's when they started to fall back, the whole force, and retreat to that next battle that we read about. That they formed up a new defense, but further back, and was hoping for the Americans to get close and not use their superior firepower. And that's actually what happened. But the Americans still won that day. They were even at close quarter battles. The American forces were actually superior to the Mexicans there. So they had all the things in their favor. So that's basically the battle. Let's have a look at the forces. What's going on here? We have something riding up here. What's this? Captain Kerr. Captain Kerr, squadrons. These are the Dragoons. Yeah, I think these Dragoons were actually part of that attack. Captain Kerr. We have something else here. We have some Dragoons. Captain May. He's got some Dragoons over there. Yeah, whole carbines. Right, so they armed with whole carbines. Quality A. We're gonna have some really badass forces. Yanks. The Americans. So it looks like the battle is sort of lined up as it was. What time is it? It's 2 p.m. Yeah, the battle actually started around 2 p.m. So we're going to probably be starting with a couple of artillery barrages and see what kind of range we got. So the thing is here in this old version, you can't even see the range of your guns, which is really, you know, bad. I really wish that you could do that. And you can't do the range thing even, you know, tell the range as you can do in the newer titles. So you're gonna have to sort of, you know, guess. I would imagine. So that is an 18-pounder. It has a range of 38. So you can't really you know. Maybe you can do something here. Oh, you just can't do it. You can have battalion colors on. That's probably good to have on. So you have command range visibility. Yeah, there's no range, man, which is bad. I mean, I don't even know the ranges, kind of how far it is here. You know, for instance, let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 11. Okay. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's 30. So, okay, 36. That means those guns can just about reach these lines. Those 18-pounders. But for instance, these guns, they have a range of 36 as well. Wow. 38 even on those 18-pounders. Okay. So 36, they are within range. So they can start hammering the forces there. Guess that's an option. We'll see. Right, let's examine the forces. So we have some militia here with Captain Walker. So he has 28 men there. Walker's Rangers. So they have quality A. They have rifled with or without bayonet. I'm not sure what wayo. Without, probably bayonets. Okay. Range 6. Pretty good range in those guns. And they are, yeah, so they're over there. So here we have our infantry chunks. So we're going to have a look at leaders and stuff. This is Captain... Could it be Captain Who? Corporal. I think it's Captain. He seems to be in charge there. And we have Captain Whippy. So they might have two commanders there. There's only one that has command range, this guy here. He's the 5th U.S. Infantry. They have part of the 2nd Brigade, but this is the 5th company, 5th U.S. company there. So they have quite a few men. What are they armed with? Harper's musket, range 5. Okay. Quality A across the board. So they all have Harper's muskets. So then here we have these light troops I talked about introductory. They're your sort of skirmish troops. They can deploy in a sort of in a different what's it called? It was called something, some sort of line, some skirmish mode, and they could be used. They wouldn't take as many casualties. They could be moving up, and even take charges and stuff a bit better. So have them. One group of those in there. And the artillery is deployed in the front. And we have another one of these light forces here. 40 men. Whole rifle. They have range 8. So that's a pretty good rifle, that. And the guns, of course. Here is something. Lieutenant McIntosh. He seems to be in charge of the leader of Captain Whippy here. He's a 2nd Brigade commander. Okay. And this was the 2nd Brigade right here. Okay. What's this? We have 3rd U.S. Infantry, 3rd Brigade. Okay. We have Captain Barber and Captain Morris seems to be the main man. That's in here. Harper's muskets. They also have these forces here. Yeah, extended order. That's what it's called, extended order. Okay. So he's in charge of them. Here's the man of the hour, Brigade General Taylor. So he's the main man. He's in charge of everything. We have Captain G.A. McCall. He's the 4th U.S. Infantry, 3rd Brigade. So this was the 5th, 3rd, 4th, 1st Brigade, and 8th U.S. 1st Brigade, okay. 4th U.S. 3rd Brigade, okay. Wow, it's pretty confusing with the forces here. This Taylor, this guy's captain of them, so it would be important to keep. So some leaders don't actually extend zone of control. This guy does. He doesn't. He does. He has an unlimited command range, apparently. Yeah, strange. Okay. And we have Colonel Twiggs, American Army. He's a colonel. He seems to be a pretty high-ranking officer as well. And then we have Lieutenant Garland, Lieutenant Commander, 3rd Brigade. He's in charge of the whole 3rd Brigade. Okay. Major Morris, he's a U.S. Artillery Battalion commander. They have whole rifles, some of these. They also have these light forces. Most have Harper's muskets. Harper's muskets, yeah. Yeah. So this is an artillery brigade without guns. Okay, interesting. I think they were supposed to get some artillery reinforcements, the Americans. Some more guns was on their way, but they never arrived. So maybe the guns were meant for these guys, but they are now fighting as sort of infantry. And on the left, we have, on the right, Lieutenant Colonel Belknap. Let's see, he seems to be in charge of the 1st Brigade. So these are all part of the 1st Brigade. He was 3rd Brigade. 2nd Brigade. So who was in charge of this? Never mind. Okay, so here we go. So the forces, man. Right, what to do? We actually start. Right off the bat, I have no idea how the AI is in this game. It's old, and they haven't really made many updates in this game. So, not sure if they made any huge improvements on the AI. We'll see how the AI behaves in this. Hopefully a bit challenging. We'll see. Okay, so let's start off the battle. Right off the bat, these guys are over here. This one looks like a good lookout point to see what the hell's going on. Actually, we can't see anything from there. That's not a very good lookout point as well. So, I guess that will be okay, but we can see most of that stuff anyways. We're going to use these guys as sort of scouts, you know? Have a look at where the forces are, but I guess they could just stay there. We could ride up and secure the flag. Why not? Let's do that. So another thing in this game is that there's no sound effects. See, when I move units, and you move them the same way as you would move, you know, in any other Wargame Design Studio games. So they're going to sit here. They're going to be just holding this. They could actually dismount. I'll show you that. So now it says dismounting. So that will take a turn for them to dismount. And they will be in a vulnerable state as they're dismounting. But they could dismount there, why not? Alright, so have a look at the let's have a look at the artillery. What do we got? So we can basically fire with everything except these guns here. They don't have a target. Wonder why. Are they facing the wrong way? So they should probably face the other way. We have a 12-pounder there as well. Okay, that 12-pounder has 24 range, but the 6-pounder has 18 range. It's a horse artillery. They were very famous. They were very fast artillery to deploy and move around. So I'm thinking of maybe turning my guns this way. They might have something in range, so I'm going to turn them like that. We'll see. Right. Let's start off with the mighty barrage. So we have 6-pounder guns. So they can fire far, man. Wow, look at all the targets they can hit. Let's concentrate. Let's start mauling down some infantry. By the way, I love the sound effect in this game. It's pretty cool. So we have another one. They actually took 2 casualties there. What man. Some more 6-pounders. Let's just fire on the infantry here. One man. So here's the 18-pounders. I'm going to counter battery his artillery and see if we can knock it out. Holy crap! One shot. Okay. And we have another 18-pounder. That caused fatigue. And then we have these guns on the flank here. Alright, so we fired all our guns. So we'll see. We'll just... I think I want to move these guys down, though. Get them a bit closer to the action here. Leave them there. I don't think I need to move anything. We have something here. We could reinforce this area with this cavalry. They will have to travel across this marsh. That will disrupt them, but could try and get them across. We'll see. We'll just wait there. They were actually guarding the all the supplies here. So let's end it and see what the Mexicans do. Yes. And we'll call it Palo Alto. Why not? Yeah, save it. All right, here we go. See how long the playback is as well in this. So he's moving his infantry around there. Okay. I'm not sure if they were deployed in column or not. Didn't check that. Some artillery is being limbered. Okay, so he might decide to do an attack straight on me. Whoa! He's moving guns. That gun just went right over there. Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the AI is behaving in this. Another thing about this battle is that I think that if the Mexicans had just ordered an all-out sort of attack, since they was outnumbering the Americans so much, I think they would have probably had an edge in taking them out with all the forces they had at their disposal here. But the hesitancy to attack and being bombarded so viciously by the American guns really caused a lot of damage that they just couldn't repair it. Looks like he's moving his cavalry there. It'll be interesting to see how the AI is going to respond. So I'm gonna be using a couple of rounds. I'm going to be spending just hitting the lines here. Okay, so we don't know what happened really. We'll just keep on looking at artillery here. We have a lot of ammunition as well, 432. So we can shoot for quite a while. Okay, he's moving. There's some supply there. Let's hit the stack. Let's actually go for this. Take out some supplies. Why not? 6-pounders. Maybe we can knock out this gun. It's actually limbering it. Okay, 18-pounder. Yeah. Not so lucky this time. Here are the guns I turned. Good thing I did that. See if we can knock out some guns that's moving around. Very light casualties. Let's see. So yeah, now these guys are dismounted and ready to fight, I guess. Just gonna get this cavalry down a bit here on the flank. So obviously facing and stuff is still very important, like every game. Alright, so I'm happy. It's gonna end it. Let's see what happens. See what the Mexicans do. Did I end it? It's just American turn. There we go. All right. He's moving some forces. What is that? Is that some reinforcements? He's got some guns in the back there. Well, I haven't even checked victory conditions. I think I need to do that. Yeah, so not a lot of gameplay in this first episode. We're just having a look. Yeah, let's look at the victory conditions. What do we need here? We need 150 points only to win a major. We already have 30 points. Yeah, we got 16 points for taking out one of his guns, man. So we already have about 50 points, man. Wow. Cool. Let's just keep hitting him here. Not so effective, those. I think the 18-pounder is better. Let's see, those looks like commanders. Yeah, we're causing damage, man. Ten minutes have passed. So he's probably out of range, his guns. You should probably move them up. He might already have a cavalry force on the move that I can't see. That could be the case. Wow, fast turns, that's good. Yeah, so let's check out before, let's look at the parameter data here. So, dawn is at 5, dusk is at 9, day turns are 5 minutes, night turns are 15, hours to twilight 1, visibility 4 hexes, okay. Max stacking is 200 men, or 8 counters, interesting. So we have the command distances, fatigue parameters, max fatigue is 90, and we have infantry costs, movements, costs, changing facing, without cost, terrain combat modifiers, 40 for Chaparral, that's pretty good. American leader lost values, okay, Mexicans, about the same. Height values, weapon data. So these are attack powers. So what about this 18-pounder? Where is it? 12-pounder howitzers. So they're attacking pretty low, long ranges now. 16-pounder here. All right, interesting. What are we? Turn 4. A few more turns, and then I'm going to maybe advance my forces a bit. I'm going to be moving down a bit. Let's hit these with the 6-pounders. So the 18-pounders will try and knock this gun out. No effect. Okay. Try and go for his. All right. One more turn. We'll skip it. So we're gonna be turn 5. Maybe I'll do start advancing formations down, like the Americans did. They came down a slight way on the road there. We might do that prematurely to get some more action going here. So I wonder how the AI is programmed for this fight. What they do. Hope something surprises me. That was it? Okay. He might be on his way through here. We don't know. So then I would be in trouble. I'm going to have to shift one of these brigades over there. All right, we're going to end it here, actually. We're going to pick up the action in the next part. Wow, hope you guys are going to be enjoying this. The Battle of Palo Alto, Mexican-American War from Wargame Design Studio. Very, very interesting battle, this. We'll see how it goes. I probably might, speed it up by moving my forces into contact a bit earlier than what happened. We'll see how that works out. I'm not sure. So I'll see you in the next part, man. Have a good one.